Because if you listen to the whole tape, the conversation reflects my humble opinion much more poorly on Raffensperger and Georgia state officials than it does on Trump. So I'm not clear who leaked this. Worse than Watergate. It is worse than Watergate. Again, for the, I don't know, 2,462nd time. I'm just making that number up because the Democrats and the media are at it again. They've got him now. They've got Trump again. This is another one of those collusion, impeachment things. We have definitely got him now. Trump, this scandal is 100% worse than Watergate. Carl Bernstein of Watergate fame actually went on CNN again and claimed that this was worse than Watergate. He said this for probably the, I don't know, 50th, 60th time, if not more, on CNN. What am I talking about? President Trump had a call with the Georgia Secretary of State, an absolute failure right now, Brad Raffensperger, who is a Republican, sadly. I don't know what this guy's up to. The call happened, I don't know, about a week ago or so, and it's clear in the call that President Trump wants to get to the truth about what happened in Georgia because of a lot of suspicious activity that happened in Georgia that has not been answered yet. There are questions that have not been answered. You don't believe me? I'm going to go to the videotape and show you how these questions haven't been answered yet because facts actually matter and you won't get them from the media. Well, someone leaked the tape, and ladies and gentlemen, to be fair and give you honest coverage, I don't know who leaked the tape. And I say that because I think although the hacks in the media like Beaverface are trying to portray these tapes of President Trump talking to officials in Georgia as an attempt to overturn an election, an attempted voter fraud by President Trump. That's not what happened if you actually listen to the tape. And I say that with regards to who leaked it because I'm not actually sure who leaked this. Because if you listen to the whole tape, the conversation reflects my humble opinion much more poorly on Raffensperger and Georgia state officials than it does on Trump. So I'm not clear who leaked this. It is clear, however, Raffensperger at this point appears to be a bit of a snake. Let's go to the video audio first. So here, let's get the bad stuff out of the way. This is the clip Beaverface and others, Washington Post and the Times have been focusing on, where they allege President Trump's trying to fake an election. He said he wants to find ballots. Of course, I'm going to just give you the bad. This is the worse than Watergate part. This is from NPR and others who've been highlighting this and leaving out the context of the rest of the tape. So check this part out. Again, this is President Trump talking to a guy named Ryan, who is the lawyer for the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and the Georgia Secretary of State himself. Check this out.
Look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have. But it's a big problem in Georgia, and it's not a problem that's going away. I mean, it's not a problem that's going away. And we got
President, this is Ryan. We're looking into every one of those things that you mentioned.
Okay,
and our investigators.
but if you find them, you got to say it, Ryan. Look, if they're, let me ask you, Ryan, if they're destroying ballots.
Let me tell you what we are seeing.
Go ahead.
What we're seeing is not at all what you're describing.
Okay.
And these are investigators from our office. These are investigators from GBI, and they're looking and they're good, and that's not what they're seeing. And we'll keep looking. We'll keep looking at all these things.
Well, you better check on the ballots because they are shredding ballots.
Worse than what again? We got them now. Oh my gosh, folks! The tape is nearly an hour long. Now, again, to give both sides, the Washington Post and others have published the entire tape, but that's the part, again, they focus on, just like they did with the Ukraine phone call, where they don't actually mention any of the subsequent stuff in there in the call. They mention one line of the Ukraine call about Biden when Trump was talking to Zelensky, the Ukrainian newly elected leader. This is all they're pumping right now. This one clip saying, my gosh, President Trump saying find vote. What is he find votes? What is he suggesting? Election fraud? Ladies and gentlemen, if you actually listen to the tape, it's clear what President Trump was saying. He's talking about finding illegal votes. Did you even listen to the tape? Of course you didn't. You're media people. That's not what you do. But what's noticeable here is if you watch CNN, MSDNC, or other outlets, they'll play you that clip. Oh my gosh, President Trump talking about finding votes. Illegal votes, you idiots. They leave out the other portions of the tape that are pretty damning for Georgia's state Secretary of State Raffensperger, forgive me. Here's another part of the tape where they leave this out. Remember that State Farm Arena video we showed you on the show? The one that's been on TV, you've seen in commercials, where votes are pulled out from under the table. Yeah. Remember that one, Joe? Pulled out in ballot boxes from under the table and are counted when election observers went home because election officials told them that vote counting had stopped. Remember that? We've seen that video quite a bit. So President Trump wants answers on that State Farm Arena debacle where vote counters, there's no dispute over the facts here, although Raffensperger and his people have tried to fudge this a little bit. Votes were counted late into the night, early into the morning on election night. Votes were counted. It appears in the video there appears to be some double counting, although there's some dispute over that. They were taken out from under a table. There's no dispute about that. While election observers were told counting had stopped. Sounds suspicious, no? Listen to President Trump ask some obvious questions about this because nobody has answers. And the Washington Post and others, it's interesting. You know, they don't highlight this as much as they highlight the other part because it's clear if you listen to this, President Trump's talking about things like this, anomalous counting and questions that haven't been answered. Here, check this out. Here's President Trump. This is the part you need to pay attention to.
No, about Ruby Freeman, about early in the morning, Ryan, when the woman took when the whole gang took the stuff from under the table, right? Do you know do you know who those ballots, do you know who they were made out to? Do you know who they were voting for?
No, not specifically.
Did you ever check?
We did what I described to you earlier.
No. Did you ever check the ballots that were scammed by Ruby Freeman, a known political operative balloteer? Did you ever check who those votes were for?
We've looked into that situation that you described.
No, they were 100% for Biden. 100%. There wasn't a Trump vote in the whole group. Why don't you want to find this, Ryan? What's wrong with you? I heard your lawyer is very difficult, actually, but I'm sure you're a good lawyer. You have a nice last name. But I'm just curious, why do you keep fighting this thing? It just doesn't make sense. We're way over the 17,779, right? We're way over that number. And if you took just Ruby Freeman, we're over that number by five or six times when you multiply it out times 3. And every single ballot went to Biden. And you didn't know that, but now you know it.
Kind of a serious charge, no? Maybe the kind of thing if you were a Georgia state official, you have this ballot counter counting ballots that came out from under a table after hours while election observers went home. There's these are allegations to be clear, but allegations of potential fraud there. Maybe the kind of thing you'd want to look into. The lawyer for the state of Georgia Secretary of State's office doesn't seem to be that interested in that. Now do you understand, again, President Trump, who doesn't always articulate things like a lawyer because he's not a lawyer and he's not a politician. What he's talking about finding, he's not talking about fabricating ballots, you media morons. He's talking about finding potential illegal activity, which these guys in Georgia don't seem to be remotely interested in finding. Oh, it gets worse. Here's the part of the video. I'm going to play this and say, let me take a quick commercial break. But I'm going to play this part of the video audio of the conversation that leaked. Again, I don't know who leaked this because I think this is more damaging to Georgia than it is to Trump, unless you're, beaver face in the media. I'm going to play the part in the video next where President Trump says repeatedly he just wants the truth to come out. The truth. Weird. President Trump's trying to incentivize people to commit voter fraud while simultaneously claiming he just wants the truth to come out. It'll be good for everyone. Those are his actual words. We'll play in a second. So, as I said, let's go to the third clip from the video, which again, the media refuses to highlight because that's what they do. This is where alleged voter fraudster Donald Trump wants the truth to come out because he thinks it'll be good for everyone. Weird stance for a guy who wants voter fraud. Really crazy, right? You didn't hear much about this in the media, did you? Check this out.
So look, can you get together tomorrow? And Brad, we just want the truth. It's simple. And everyone's going to look very good if the truth comes out. It's okay. It takes a little while, but let the truth come out. And the real truth is I won by 400,000 votes, at least. That's the real truth. But we don't need 400,000 votes. We need less than 2,000 votes. And are you guys able to meet tomorrow, Ryan?
I'll get with Chris, the lawyer who's representing us in the case, and see when he can get together with Kurt.
All right. Ryan will be in touch with the other attorney on this call, Mr. Meadows. Thank you, President Trump, for your time.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
President.
Kind of a weird call for a voter fraudster, right? We're just throwing that out there for the sane people listening. That means not people in the media or liberals. Kind of a weird call. So the media's portrayed this as worse than Watergate. The president harassing Georgia state officials to fake an election result, right? That's a media portrayal. It ends rather cordially. And it ends with alleged voter fraudster Donald Trump. Just crazy, Joe, how this happened. Alleged voter fraudster Donald Trump and all the White House cabal trying to manufacture fake election results. It's just weird how when they say that, they end the call being very clear that they just want the truth to come out and that would be really good for everyone, the truth. That's just a strange voter fraud kind of call. I know every time I want to commit vast voter fraud, the first thing I do is call a state official and ask him for the truth to come out, record the call, which I'm sure was recorded on both ends, and then end in such a nice, cordial fashion, thanking everyone for joining. That's how I do it, right? I mean, sorry. Again, folks, how many times are we going to fall for this? It's worse than Watergate. We got him now. Here it is, President Trump to Trump tapes. On tape, demanding voter fraud. Yeah, we always do that when we ask for the truth and then start asking basic questions like, hey, what about those allegations of voter fraud in State Farm Arena? Did you guys get to the bottom of that? No. Oh, we didn't. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, nice.